I still love doing deliveries.
Just so you see your customer, see your end customer.
See the customers and see their customers. Every now and then I'll say to a customer, free coffee on me. Give them a free coffee, please, and I'll pay for it. You know?
Yeah.
Welcome to the My Business Podcast, where we sit down with local businesses and we talk about who they are, where they come from, and what inspires them to be in business.
Welcome back to the My Business Podcast. Today I'm here with Bruno from the Establishment Coffee Company. Welcome, Bruno, to Podfire Studios.
Thank you very much.
Bruno, tell us a bit about the Establishment Coffee Company. When did you start and what do you do?
Okay, so I started 12 years ago, and it's family. We call it a family business, and we roast coffee, pack it, and deliver it.
All here on the Gold Coast?
All here in the Gold Coast.
So you started 12 years ago, but I believe your background in coffee is much longer than that. How did you get into the coffee business?
Yeah, so I've been in the game now 30 years.
Wow. So
1993 I first started, and just by accident I got into the coffee game. I was a cabinet maker by trade. Didn't think that was my destiny or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So I decided to, I really wanted to be a delivery driver, so I wanted to be on the road, wanted to see people, meet people, and I just wanted that interaction with people where when you're stuck in a factory, you're sort of like, same.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And I've been to your little cafe, and that's exactly what you like. You're a people person, and you talk to everyone that comes through the door. That's right. When they're there. Everybody knows Bruno at the cafe.
Not many. I'm not too serious. When you see me, it's always a bit of a laugh, bit of a joke, and don't take anything too seriously. So So when I wanted to be a delivery driver, so I ended up driving and loving it, and just by chance I went for a job interview for another coffee, or my first coffee,
for a different company.
For a different company, Primo Coffee, and became a sales rep there, and haven't looked back since. So 18 years with them.
And that was in Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney, yeah.
That was in Sydney. So you just drove around selling coffee, Primo Coffee to cafes and things like that as well?
Yep, all cafes. And I drove from Sydney, I went to Canberra, did Bathurst, out to Orange and Newcastle. So did a lot of travelling, and it was a fun part of my.
Geez, you would have been well known when you rolled into Bathurst, say, and go to the coffee shops there. Yeah, and did pretty well, and I feel like that business grew very well because of what I've done, and others, of course, and I enjoyed it. And was it a logical step for you to, because the cafe is one thing you have, but the Establishment Coffee Company is more than just that. It's not just servicing the one cafe, is it? We supply the coffee to cafes and restaurants. There's about 80 cafes that we supply to right now. All on the Gold Coast? No, all over, not Australia, but up and down the coast. So from Early Beach, Emerald, down to Sydney, we do have supply. Wow. Yeah, so it's quite a big footprint. Yeah, it's not too bad, yeah. So we just don't supply coffee to customers. When you do use the Establishment Coffee Company, you're getting the full package. Yep. So we also supply the coffee training to the baristas and the owners if required. And with that, they also get machinery, grinders, and which we fully service. So they purchase the coffee, but they get the full box experience. Yes. Because coffee is an experience, isn't it? It is. Because I'm not a coffee drinker myself, Bruno, and about 10 years ago I said to the girls that I was working with in the bank that I'll go and buy them a coffee. And so I went to the cafe and had a look at the board, and there was just so many different options of coffee, and I really didn't know where to start. So it's funny you say that. Why is it funny? Funny you say that, because I remember when I first started, it was in the milk, say just milks, right? Yep. There was full cream milk, skinny milk. Yep. And then probably 10 years after I started, soy came out, and that was the big thing, soy. Now with all these variations with milks, you've got the almond, the lactose-free, and you've got about 10 different types of milks that you can choose from, and also coffees, the different types of coffees you can make. So this is my problem as a novice. I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah, and same in the brewery industry. Yep. There was only like four. Yes, that's right. Four big. You had your Forex, you had your Fosters, you had your and that was BB, and that's it. And now you're probably looking at boutique beverage companies and boutique coffee companies. There's about 100 in each state. That's right. Least. There's probably 4 between here and the shopping centre down the road. Yeah, now, so you've got a big variety of choices there too. So I've just opened up a new cafe, and so we're obviously going to use your coffee because it's great.
And that's where you see me the most excited.
Yep.
I love new business. I love seeing new business start up from nothing to doing 20, 30, 50 kilos a week. And I've seen that so many times. And when I go in there, I see the energy of the owner, being excited, and I get excited. And just getting a new customer for me is like the biggest buzz of all.
So that's one of the questions I have. What drives you? What motivates you? So getting into that new business and teaching the owner how to use your machines and all that?
Well, it's the whole deal, I guess. So seeing a customer sort of grow is the biggest thrill that I can get. I have. So for me to see a customer starting from nothing and being very successful, maybe opening up another cafe, maybe just getting another machine because they're so busy. These things happen, and it's part of the job that I like.
So new cafes are people that you obviously help out, but do you also transition existing cafes over to your product? Is that part of your business as well?
Yeah. So that's the cold calling part of it, or people just ring up, say, hey, I want to use your coffee, which happens a lot too. They say, Bruno, I've seen your coffee, say, at Surface Paradise, and it's really nice, and I want to try your coffee. And that's where we come in and say, yeah, we can do something for you. And we always try to get a coffee that they've had coffee very close to what they've got, so it doesn't sort of affect too much of a change.
Excellent. So talking about the coffee industry, what's the actual toughest part about being in this industry?
The toughest is, that's a good question. What's the toughest? I enjoy every part of it.
So you do come across to me as someone that just loves what they do. Yeah, so, it doesn't need to be anything in that respect. And that's
it's not tough. It's not tough at all, actually. I find, because I've done it so long now, everything's pretty easy for me. So if someone has a breakdown, actually I love breakdowns because I get to fix them over the phone. A lot of times, 90% of the time, I just fix a problem over the phone. So I've got a problem with the grinder, and I'll say, all right, just the grind this way or that way, or just it's overheated, just turn it off, wait 5 minutes and turn it back on. A lot of stuff I just fix over the phone just like that.
So you don't see problems, you see just a way to fix them as being a success for the day.
The best part of my job is doing deliveries. I still love doing deliveries.
Just so you see your customer, see your end customer?
See the customers and see their customers. Every now and then I'll say to a customer, free coffee on me. Give them a free coffee, please, and I'll pay for it.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's the reaction when a customer, do they just look at you and say, who the heck's this bloke?
Oh, no, they're used to seeing me.
So they know know you. They know you as the
very
coffee
rare,
guy.
Very rare you'll see from other coffee companies, you'll see the owner doing deliveries. And a lot of times they don't even know who the owner is.
Well, that's in any business, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's all about, I guess, being part of the business and not just being in the business, but being part of it. Because you could actually just sit in your office all day and just work from there, couldn't you?
I could, but I don't. I couldn't.
It wouldn't do you any good. You'd go crazy, I'm pretty sure, as well. Yeah. So your end customers, so who do you see as your end customer? Is it the coffee drinker or is it the cafe?
Yeah, well, my customer is the cafe owner, and I try to appease him, but his customer is the person who buys the coffee.
Yep.
So basically, that's what I really have to please is his customers.
Because otherwise they don't want your coffee.
That's right.
So we touched on it before, and there's a heap of different kinds of coffees. What kind of innovation goes into the roasting of coffee?
Okay. So when I first started, the traditional type of coffee was Robusta coffee. So you would have 90% Arabica beans, which is a sweeter coffee, and then you'd have that 10%, 15% Robusta coffee, which is a typical Italian-style coffee. And then we went through the stage of 100% Arabica, which is just, no Robusta. Robusta means it's going to give you a stronger, more robust taste with more body and so forth. And now it's changed from that bit of Robusta to the 100% Arabica to this acidic, what I call acidic, almost sour type of coffee, which a lot of other suppliers do use. I try to stay away from that, even though I do have a blend very similar to that. So I'm more of the traditional style of, I go probably 5% Robusta in all my blends, or most of my blends, up to 8%, because I do like that traditional taste, which is the way coffee should be had.
So basically there's no two coffees alike?
No.
Would that be correct?
Exactly right. So if I try to match another supplier's coffee, I could never do it.
Yep.
Unless I know what beans they use.
One question I've got backing on that is that we always hear about the coffee culture here in Australia and how it's very well respected worldwide.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why Australia?
Every time I've had a few, relatives used to go to Italy and they have a coffee, then they go, "Oh, the coffee's so terrible in Italy. It's just so bitter and that's what it is, just the bitterness of the coffee. Where here it's a smoother, sweeter taste. Also, a big factor is the milk that we use. The milk in Australia is probably the best in the world.
Yep.
So
Makes sense.
we are lucky and blessed that we can have the best milk.
Who else around the world does good coffee? Because I know it's not the Americans. My wife tells me that.
And it's not the English. But they are getting there. They're all,
English.
Everyone's improving. Look, they're all improving. And when I first started in the game, the frothing of the milk was like air bubbles.
Yep.
So who could do the biggest froth,
Yep.
And the cappuccinos, instead of like this, are now really, they were like that big,
Yep.
So a lot of things have changed since I've been around. So who does the best? Everyone's got different tastes and flavours. I think we're number one.
The establishment coffee company would be right up there as well, wouldn't it?
Well, we're a little secret company that not many people know about.
Well, more are going to know about you in about 10 minutes' time after we finish this podcast.
That sounds good.
So you talked about training baristas as well. What actually goes into training a barista?
A lot of training these days is probably, you can't teach a barista in 1 hour.
Yeah.
They need to get behind a machine. They need to make coffees. A little trial and error, basically. But in 1 hour, I know that I can get someone into a very, very good position to make coffee in 1 hour. It's so simple. I don't make things too complicated. I've got 3 steps: milk, coffee, and the finish of the product. It's 3 steps. You can't go wrong. So if you get those 3 steps right, very easy.
You're on the way.
Easy.
So for someone who's never had a cup of coffee in their life, what should I be looking for? Where should I start if I was to be looking at the coffee?
Latte.
Latte?
Yep.
And why is that?
My favourite is flat white, but latte, just because of more of a milkier taste and it's easier to drink.
Yep.
So, and then you could go to a flat white, and then you go double shot. Then you
double
go to
shot. Is that the one in the little cup?
Well, you can do a double shot. You can do a double shot in a normal flat white, or you can do a double shot, an espresso. But basically, a double shot of any coffee is 30 mils.
Yep.
So or single shot's 30 mils. Double shot would be 60 mils. Yep. So that's how.
And does that energise you all day? That one?
Depending on the caffeine levels in any blend.
Okay.
So you cannot.
So the caffeine levels within the blends are different as well.
Yeah, they are.
So coffee doesn't give you that same boost with each one.
Everything in moderation is good.
Is that what they say? Now, obviously, you have your regular customers that come into the cafe as well. Is it a wide variety of different coffees that you make for them, or
they can
do
choose.
people stick on one coffee once they're?
I have the house blend, which is my favourite coffee, which is the Upshot, and that's my favourite blend. Our most popular coffee is the Hookup. So the Hookup is probably the best-selling coffee that I have.
Yep.
So, but they can choose any blend they want. We are very happy for us to make any coffee they want or any blend they want to choose. So we'll do that for them. But we also sell a lot of coffee, retail coffee in the cafe.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. So people then, they brew it at home then.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Let's give some people some tips on the coffee industry. So from the cafe owner's point of view, what kind of things should they be focusing on for their cafes? Yeah,
well, it's I always say the full package: service, quality, and they're the two major things: the service and the quality you're going to get from the supplier. You can always put price in there if you want, but I don't think price is too much of a factor. But quality is very important, and the consistency of that product. So a lot of our coffees have been the same since day one. So for 12 years now, I can get a bag that I first roasted, which I still got, the first roast.
Yeah, that's
amazing. I can open up that bag and open up a bag that I roasted, say, 3 weeks ago and try them, and they're both going to be the same. That's how good our coffee is, and it's very
Consistency is a key, isn't it?
I haven't changed. The 2 blends that I in particular is the Upshot and the Hookup. I haven't changed those blends at all. They're still the same from day one. So the consistency is very important. When you go into specialty coffee, they do change from year to year. So you
sounds like wine.
It is exactly the same. And so we do have specialty coffee. We have high altitude and high altitude blend, which is all graded over 90 points, which is the best of the best. So we have a blend specifically for that specialty market.
Yep.
But when it comes to the other blends that I was talking about, they're very consistent because these are sort of the origins of these blends are very consistent.
Yep.
And I use the same some from the same region, same blend, same quality. Yeah.
And so you mentioned before that it's the end user that you've got to have in mind when you're producing your coffees. And I guess that means that the end user is going to come in today, tomorrow, or the day after, and they're going to get that same taste in the coffee.
Yes.
Which is what they want.
Exactly right.
So that's the massive tip for the cafe owners is to...
See, unlike wine, you'll never get the same wine year in, year out.
Yeah.
It always changes. So I classify wine as a specialty.
That's
special
right,
thing, because it's never the same, unfortunately. But lucky you can get the same coffee year in, year out from the establishment coffee company.
And that's amazing. And I think, we talk about tips, and then really it comes down to one thing, and that is consistency, which is across most businesses.
Yeah.
If you can provide a consistent service so people know what they're going to get.
That's right.
Exceed their expectations, and for you it's that the Bruno's the guy that comes and delivers the stuff.
That's right.
That's to me the kind of extra...
Yeah.
The cream on top, if you want to put it, of what you give to people as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What's next for the establishment coffee company?
Yeah, well, so we're because of 30 years and all that. So 30 years we've been in the game now. I think we've decided now. I've been in the game. I've decided now to put a big emphasis on new business.
Yep.
So I'm here today to tell customers that there are some good deals to be had.
Yep.
And I'm here to give them.
So you said before that price doesn't always come into play when it comes to coffee. It's not the only thing that matters. And I agree with that 100% because it's the other things that come with it, the service, the training, and that follow-up, even you delivering the products. It's not just, here's your coffee and be gone.
See you later. No, it's full box and dice.
And that's the most important part to you?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So basically, we're sitting here now and people want to get in contact with you. They want to call Bruno. How do they find you? What's the website?
Yeah, but it's www.establishmentcoffee.com.au.
So it is. It's right in front of me now. And it's a nice website too, so you can go there and you can learn a lot about this establishment coffee company, but most importantly, it does have your contact details as well.
Yep.
So we should give Bruno a call.
Yes.
And then you'll have a chat to him about what you can do and how you can help their business and make you both succeed.
Most definitely.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because when you actually walked in here today, I introduced you to someone today, didn't I?
Yep, and I think we're going to do a good business together.
I think so too. I hope so. That would be really good. So thanks again, Bruno, for coming in. Mate, I absolutely love the passion that you have for your company and for your coffee, and most importantly, your customers. It's why you are a successful Gold Coast local business, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bruno.
Bye, mate.
Thanks for listening to the My Business Podcast, brought to you by Media 8 on the Podfire platform. If you want to be on our podcast, please reach out to the team on all our socials at mybusiness.pod.